Yes, Gloria, I think it's important for universities to have some kind of research institute focusing on marriage and family life. Oftentimes we send this message to our students that the most important thing is getting an education in engineering or in business or in law or economics or sociology. And these things are obviously very important. But if you look at what kind of predicts adults' sense of meaning and purpose, their happiness in life, generally speaking, it's their family and their friends. And so what I think often happens is that many young adults don't have a good sense of how to establish a marriage, how to establish a good family, and they have no formal training or reflection on these important topics. And so I think if universities can do a good job of giving young adults a sense of what marriage and family life are about, why they're important, and some basic skills that will enable them to be good spouses, good husbands, good wives, good fathers, good mothers, that will be a great service to the students who pass through the university, both in their own homes, but also too as they end up becoming leaders in their local government, in their local civic organizations, in their local religious communities. So I think this kind of education, this research is important for the authentic development of young adults around the globe. So the World Family Map project originated basically in the recognition that there is no international effort to track, to monitor, to assess the well-being of the family around the globe. We have international efforts to track inequality, to track the empowerment of women, to monitor economic freedom around the globe. But this is the first effort to track the well-being and welfare of the family around the world. And so it's an important contribution, important offering to the global public square, to give them a sense of how are we doing in the family, and also to think about what can we do better. So every year we will be offering a report that sort of paints a portrait of how the family is doing when it comes to things like marriage, fertility, family importance, family economics, and the things that happen in the internal life of the family. And then every year we'll also be having an essay on a particular topic. So this year our essay, as you know, is on the impact of family structure and its effect on kids' educational outcomes. So we'll do a new topic next year that is of some central importance to children and the family and adults around the world, yes. So I think what's important to understand here is that the research on marriage and family structure has been most developed in Europe and in North America. And so this effort that we're engaging in with your university, with the University of Peoria, is one effort to sort of extend our understanding and our knowledge to looking at the impact of marriage and distinct family structures in Latin America, in sub-Saharan Africa, and also in Asia. So this is sort of a time of exploration. But the research in Europe and in North America suggests that kids who are born and reared in a married household enjoy more financial support from their parents, more practical, emotional support from their parents, and they also enjoy more stability because marriage is a much more stable institution than is cohabitation or a consensual union. And if you know anything about kids, if you have kids or you work with kids, you know that kids thrive on stability, on a stable routine with a stable set of caregivers, mother, father, grandparents, etc. And so marriage is an important institution, it increases the odds that kids will have that stability. Because it has more cultural, legal, social, and sometimes religious meaning than do the alternatives. Okay. But it's important too to understand that generally speaking, that marriage benefits women and especially men as well. So it benefits both kids and adults and their communities by providing a sense of meaning, direction, purpose, and stability to this most fundamental social relationship, that is, the relationship between a man and woman that's got romantic, practical, financial dimensions. And we know, for instance, that women who are married tend to be safer, less likely to be victimized by crime or other kinds of abuse than women in cohabiting unions or single women. We know that men, for instance, live about 9 years longer than their peers who are not married or who get divorced. And the effect of marriage on men's mortality is about the same effect as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for men. So if you know men who smoke, they should get married and stay married to sort of offset the impact of smoking on their health, the negative impact. So the bigger point here is simply that marriage is an institution that, and it's not a Catholic institution. It's not a Protestant. It's found in all major civilizations. From India to Egypt to China to North America, South America to Europe. It's an institution that most civilizations have used to order the relations between women and men, and especially the kids that they have together as a couple. Well, I think what we're seeing both in Latin America and also in North America and Europe. Now, it's happening in different ways and at different rates and different, the progress and the sort of articulation of these trends are going to happen in distinct ways. But I think what we're seeing in much of the West, including Europe and the Americas, is a growing divide between those who are college educated and who are more affluent, have more money, and those who are less educated, less affluent. There's always been obviously somewhat of a divide, but we're seeing now more and more is that in places ranging from what I've seen from Chile to the United States to Canada to Sweden, so very different countries. United Kingdom, the same pattern. Those who are better educated, have more money, are more likely to get and stay married, and those who are less educated and have less money are less likely to get and stay married. And what that means is that kids in less educated, less affluent communities, towns, regions, neighborhoods, are more likely to grow up in a home where their mother and their father either did not get married, they cohabited, or they just had a relationship, or where they're more likely to get divorced. And so there's more family instability. In terms of what's feeding into this, I would say two things. One is that the global economy makes it harder for people who are less educated to find decent paying, stable jobs that will help them support a family. And cohabitation is becoming more popular. And cohabitation is much less likely to deliver stability to adults and to any children that they have. And it's attractive because it seems to offer freedom and flexibility to adults. But the flip side of that for children is that it has less trust, less security, less stability, because there's more flexibility, more freedom, there's less of a commitment. And so kids who are born to or otherwise raised by cohabiting couples are much more likely to experience instability, what some have called like a carousel, a relationship carousel, where they're exposed to different caretakers, different boyfriends, different adults who often don't have their best interests at stake, or their best interests in mind. So I would say that both economic inequality and cohabitation are both undercutting the stability of kids' lives in Latin America.